Team, I want to share with you a couple questions that I am prone to ask soldiers during a promotion board, competition board, or even just when I'm out walking around and talking to some folks. Sometimes I think we get tripped up, we get hemmed up because we don't understand that there's a potential follow-on question. And these are two questions that are easy to become tripped up on, if you will. They're easy to take for granted that the answer that you give is going to be the end of the story. And I have found in my experience that these are two questions that a lot of people can't get right. They can maybe get half of it right, but then they can't get the other half right. So let's dig into the very first one. Right? So the very first question is, and neither one are straightforward. The first one, well, it's kind of straightforward. So the first one is, you're getting ready to plan and prepare and execute a class on land navigation. What is one skill that you want your students to take away from that class, right? Does that make sense? It's a pretty straightforward answer. Now, I've heard all kinds of responses from, how to determine a location if you don't know where you're at. Like doing resection. I've heard, how to preset compass and do all kinds of things, right? But there's a follow-on question, right? And the follow-on question is, okay, so now we've identified the one thing that you want your soldiers to know. How do you do that thing? You said on the front end that this is the one specific task. And it didn't have to be land navigation. It could be anything. This is the one specific task that you believe every soldier needs to know. They need to be trained and proficient at. So how do you do it? And this is where people began to get hemmed up a little bit, because one dude, I want to determine the location of an unknown location. I was like, well, okay, how do you do that? Well, first I'm going to, orient my map and do some terrain association. And I said, and I'm going to shoot to a point. I say, whoa, hold on here, high speed. You talking about doing some resection? So how many points do you need to build known points out in front of you or around you do you need to be able to use? It's like, I don't know for. And I'm like, it's like, yeah. So don't feed crap answer if you can't back it up. And again, this is not just, as it relates to a board appearance. A key leader could stop and ask you a question, and that initial answer might be true, but is there more meat? Is there more substance? Is there some dadgum gravy to pour on those potatoes, right? Be careful with how questions are asked of you, because how they are asked matters. And the next question that I ask people a lot, or something very similar to, is you are preparing to move and march your squad from your company operations facility to your motor pool. And you have one soldier in your squad say, hey, Sarge, man, it's 2022. Why are we marching? What is your response? Now, as you can imagine, most people's response generally comes across like, well, it promotes good order and discipline. It's whatever, right? So it promotes good order and discipline, right? Great. So when is the last time that you marched your squad anywhere? You know what the answer is? They haven't done it. Like, at all. Ever. So if you think that doing this thing promotes good order and discipline, why aren't you doing it? If you think that doing this task embodies the profession of arms, why aren't you doing it? Again, sometimes it comes across as a D&C question. Other times it's a uniform inspection, right? You're getting ready to prepare for payday activities or whatever the case is. You know that everybody's going to be in ASUs or their greens, and so you tell your squad that you're going to inspect your squad, right? Why are you going to do that? Well, I got to make sure, blase, 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 blase. Great. When is the last time that you got your squad, not because somebody else above you told you to do it, but because you said, we are going to do this? When's the last time that you did it? When's the last time that you took your team and went and did sergeant's time training? When is the last time that you took your squad and you shared a meal together at the DFAC? When is the last time that you inspected your soldiers' barracks rooms? You see, all these types of questions about basic leadership. And too many times we get the A answer right because it sounds good, it briefs well. But in execution, team, we are sucking at this. You can't stand by and wait idly for somebody else around you in your sphere of leadership to tell you how to do your stinking job. These are not just two questions. They are everything. And you cannot get these things wrong. To hell with your board appearance. Man, don't get me wrong, I want you to get a go, right? But that board appearance cannot be smoke and mirrors. Otherwise, what are we doing, right? I had an NCO come in, present a board packet. That last counseling that was in that counseling or packet was an initial counseling from 5 stinking months ago, and said it's not a big deal. I kid you not. The sponsor told me that counseling his soldier who was appearing was not a big deal. Because it's all smoke and mirrors. Team, we have to do better than this. Dadgummit, I need all of us, myself included, to do better at these two things, at this one thing, really, right? It's living our dadgum values. It is embodying our creed, that yardstick that we said we would try to measure up to. You don't have to hit the bullseye perfect each and every single time. But dadgummit, you need perfect aim. We're all going to slip up. We're all going to make mistakes. But we have to do better. And what we need is each other to help sharpen and hone us so that we can do that. Team, I deeply appreciate each and every single one of y'all. Leave some comments down below about those two questions, and maybe in some of your own experiences that you have, that people have asked you a question maybe, and there was a follow-on question. That way we can all continue to master our craft on this journey together. Team, make sure you like it, of course, subscribe, share this out with a friend or battle buddy as well. That way we can continue to keep this conversation rolling. As always, until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.